Okay, now it's showing up. It's alive. All right, we're going to try this yet again. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. It has been one of those days, as Mitchie will tell you. But we are here, and welcome to LSAPC Presents yet another Average Podcast. We are here live every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central. We appreciate you being here with us. If you would, and don't mind, go down and smash the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, helps us with the YouTube algorithm, all those things. Like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and you'll know every time we upload or go live with new videos. So thank you for being here, and let's get into introducing our co-hostess with the mostest, Mitchie. Good evening.
Hello, I'm here.
Yes, you are. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, making magic happen. One, I don't know, mess up at a time. So glad we got it all back together, and we are live and having a good time. We got all kinds of fun things to talk about. So give us just one moment, and we're going to go over the disclaimer and all the good stuff. But bear with us, and we will be right back. All right, we are back. So yes, we are back. I just wanted to make sure that this was live on the channel. We went live, and then for whatever reason it didn't work. So we had to cancel it, reset up the stream, and go at it again. But here we are live, and Mark Schaefer is back in the building. Thank you, Mark, for being here. Wow, y'all look different from last video? I don't know.
Oh, we should have.
Oh, last video, yeah, definitely looked different.
Yeah,
I had the long hair working.
That was a good video.
Good times. Okay, let's go over the disclaimer real quick so we can knock that out and get that out of the way. And we'll talk about a little bit of the subject matter because we are kind of going to free flow today. But let's go over this disclaimer first. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any organization or entity. Listeners are encouraged to critically evaluate the information presented and form their own opinions. Yes, do that. Go out, get your own opinions. Don't take mine. Go get your own. And yeah, we're going to talk about stuff. OCD Collections. How are you, brother? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right. So, Mitchie.
Yes.
We got you live here.
Got me live.
I made some tea in our OG mug.
Spill the tea?
And I am ready for you to spill the tea. So, why disclaimer? I don't know. Because I see other people do it, and I figured maybe there's a reason. I don't want to get sued because I believe Bigfoot is real or not real. I don't know.
Or because we're talking about a certain...
yeah, we start talking about the...
cult or a group.
Yeah, cults or and what's under the Vatican or something like that. I don't want...
A following might get a little bit upset about it, or, I mean, I don't know, or... we say somebody's name wrong, I guess. Yeah. I don't know, but this isn't my channel, so I'm just going to say that I don't get sued for it, and I'm not married to him, so I can't get in trouble.
You're not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get in trouble. You're not going to get in trouble. Okay, so what do you want to talk about, Mitchie? We got a lot. You sent me a lot of stuff.
I did. And I guess the first thing we can talk about is, maps.
Maps.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to break down some maps. Mitchie sent me a list of maps, and we're going to go through them and look at them, and then Mitchie, you can tell us kind of what we are looking at and what that means.
And
Zach Bonifer, welcome in.
Once you see it, so.
Well, no, it is, but I think you have some of them kind of correlate to each other, right?
Right.
Or some conspiracy
they
theory.
They do. I mean, it's a little odd. You have to think about it. So.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us about kind of the maps that we're going to look at and why they are important to what you're going to suggest.
Well, the main map that you are going to compare that every other map to is the cave system map. That's all through the United States. And
that's this one here, right?
Yep.
Now we have two that you have labeled.
I just showed two different maps because, I don't know, in case I wanted to take one of the maps and put it overlay of another map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So that is the cave system map.
Yep.
And that is somehow going to apply to some of these other maps.
So you can go ahead and pick whatever other map you want on there.
Okay, well, let's go to this one first. This is the...
missing people's map.
And you
Okay.
have two of those as well, but you can
Now
see there.
now
I like
see
this one
that.
better.
Now
Yeah.
go back to the Cape System map. One of them.
Okay. Okay.
See it?
Oh, wait. So we're going from this one
Yep. And
to
these
this
are like
one.
reported missing, like main area of missing people.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me look at that upper northwest. Okay, so maybe not so much in that upper northwest.
And you can look at the other map too.
Okay.
And you got to remember what other states up there that you don't think about.
What other state that's up where? What? The missing?
Alaska's over there too.
Oh, yeah. Alaska's not shown on these
Yeah,
maps.
but there are caves and everything in Alaska also, and
Well,
in
fact.
Canada.
So,
So
Alaska,
you saw that, right?
Arctic Circle, Antarctica, all of them. Yes. All right. So, do you want me to move on to the next map?
Yep, go on to the next.
Okay.
Pick any
Yeah.
of
So Mark Schaefer says, "Oh, all the missing people are in the caves." Got it. Okay. That's where
I mean,
might be kind of where
now
we're getting. Now look at the top 10 most UFO sightings by state. And are we correlating that with the cave system map?
Yep.
Okay.
Use the other caves.
Well, I think that one is better. You're saying use this map? Yeah, I get what you're saying now. It doesn't really matter, but they're saying the same thing. Okay, so
Yep.
a lot of the UFOs focused in and around that cave system as well. So what are we getting at here? Because there is a pretty well known theory.
Was there any other maps?
Yeah, there's a couple more. There's the Bigfoot and the cryptids and the serial killer victims.
Yeah, that one's kind of interesting.
Serial killer victims. If you look, like, here's the thing. Look at the states that we're focused on. There's a lot of similarity between these maps. So now I'm not sure that you're not suggesting that serial killers are aliens.
No.
But they do kind of coincide with the weirdness factor of all the other weird stuff that happens.
Yep.
And then of course if you look at the Bigfoot map, which is just
those are the report. Yeah, it was just overran of everything.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Did I put the cryptid ones on?
And then you have the cryptid ones as well, which is the same thing. But now cryptid sightings map includes Bigfoot. So they're similar. They're very similar maps.
It's a little weird.
But let's get into the theory of why the cave system is a central focal point of all these other things, whether it's UFOs or missing persons or.
I mean, if you think about it too, like the missing 411, all the people that go missing in the Appalachian Trail and all that other stuff, and don't even get me started on the Appalachian stuff because that's already like.
What? It's already. Libby, stop that. Sorry, the dog's over there scratching on the couch. NC Collectibles, what is happening? Kenneth Bird, HCF Paranormal is in the house. And but Christina Payne, thanks for finding your way back.
That in that area, like in those areas, it's all kind of the same. Like there always seems to be like safe spots.
Well, so let me see if this leads anywhere, because I know as far as it relates to the missing persons cases, there's all this weirdness around missing persons. And if you read those 401, those missing 411 series, if you look into that stuff, there's a whole lot of people who just go missing. Like you're walking with them, they're with you, and you turn around for 1 second and you turn back and they're gone.
Yep.
And there's no sound, there's no animals, and they're just gone forever, never found, right? Mm-hmm. And so what you can link that to, some people link it to, is the possibility that there are cracks, crevices, holes, whatever, that lead to these underground cave systems, and that maybe these people are simply falling through the earth kind of deal. Is that what we're suggesting? Because I've heard that theory.
Yeah, that too. I mean, like, it's just kind of odd, the fact that because I always said that there were caves, caverns that probably ran all through the United States. So,
yeah, you're a big proponent of the cave system.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, I also think they're all the way up in Antarctica, think that,
They're all over the globe.
and I think that, I mean, I also think that alien has a.
What are the most famous? Well, I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to say it's true. Hence the disclaimer. By the way, just for those of you that know us in the past, there actually is something in this mug this time.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
annoyed,
not
as
empty.
you can tell.
Okay, but what is the most famous underground tunnel system known to man? At least known to me. I don't know. Any ideas what the most famous is?
I don't know.
The catacomb, right?
Yep.
So the catacombs where there's just lined walls of human bone, like skulls and tibias and fibias and femurs and all the bones stacked up and making hallways of tunnel systems underground Paris. So there's tunnel systems all over the world. Are you good there? Or do you need some time? You want me to?
Nope, you're fine. Sorry.
Okay. No,
I'm trying to talk with her. So.
Okay, just making sure. All
right. Okay, where were we?
We're talking about how you think that there's cave systems or tunnel systems underground across the United States, and I'm saying I think it goes greater than that. It's globally. Like there's underground tunnel systems everywhere.
Yep.
Gulf Coast Collectibles, welcome.
So,
the New York subway system is an underground tunnel system. Yeah. So is LA and any other major city.
Okay. So here's my. So I already told you I got the caves out of my now. Okay.
What up, Crispy?
I'm just saying. I just find it odd that the hot spots are in those certain areas, and there's like another. I think it might be.
So, UFOs.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, are you suggesting that there is UFO technology underground?
I think it's also in the Atlantic Ocean. Wait, where's Africa? Which ocean is that?
Well, Atlantic partially, and then there's some other ones around it.
Okay. Anyway, so there was a map that I didn't send to you because I wasn't quite for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure. But so they were tracking thermal whatever in the ocean.
Heat sources.
Because there was a big, large, massive one out in the ocean.
So it was hotter in one spot. So it was hotter in one spot of the ocean, and that was hot. That heat source was moving. Okay.
And it was big. It was down by Africa and South America, and it's literally just kind of been settled back. But I mean, it is a massive size.
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. Okay. If there was an underground heat source, let's say that that heat source was coming from the deepest depths of the ocean, like we're talking about getting to the core of the Earth, where it's extremely hot. So let's say there was a break point in the floor of the ocean where magma or heat or some sort of volcanic whatever was taking place, and it was heating up that water. Then you have the current of the ocean that would make that heat source move, right? And maybe differently as it goes up through the ocean to the surface. Would that be an explanation?
No.
It's not an explanation. So it's a UFO, underground UFO base.
And when I tell you that heat source that was down there, I mean, that thing was bigger than a whole country or whatever. I don't even know what.
Yeah, so
a state, not a state.
There have been hundreds, thousands of reported UFO sightings of objects coming out of the water.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is significant reason to allow the idea that there could be UFO bases underwater if you tend to believe in UFOs and those other things. What's up, popping in the Show Me State? It's not going to show up on camera.
I don't have a marker.
I just see a circle. I don't.
No, it's
you want a Sharpie?
It's like an upside down heart, but an expanded heart. Does that make sense?
Let me get you something to draw with.
Wait, I don't know if I can do this upside down. Like this? It looked like this. Here.
Yeah, but can you do this? Yeah, I can do that one too, Mitchie.
No, but for real, it looked like the ones from Skinwalker Ranch. So
See how that works? I magically handed her the marker through.
so there is another.
I can't get up there. Sorry.
I would throw this, but
no, draw that thing.
okay.
I'm like a 5-year-old. I got my
So
Batman.
can I bring
toolbox.
up something else that another state that's been a hot spot for UFO? I know I'm back on the UFO thing.
Yeah,
again.
no,
I'm
I like
sorry.
it. No, I like it. Take it wherever you want to take it.
Okay, so there. I didn't do enough research on this one, so I'm going to tell you right now. It's a conspiracy theory, but I found something kind of like this little weird thing out in the middle of like that ocean area.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like, so here's what that looks like. I know it
Like a butt.
looks,
Looks a little bit like a butt.
looks like a misshaped butt. Okay, so down in like one of the like Arizona or New Mexico, I think it's like Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
but out in the desert, because recently this place has been like a hot spot for like UFO sightings. Well, there is a telescope supposedly owned, like one of the ones that could literally like see really well out into the sky. I don't really know, but it's owned by the Vatican, and I don't know if that's right. So listen, I don't know if that's right. They say it's owned by the Vatican, and I've read like a couple news articles about it, but not enough to even count. That it's owned by the Vatican, and that uh, back before 2002, it used to be called Lucifer, and now it's called Lucy 5702, whatever.
Okay.
But
are we talking about the thing that can see into the future and back in time?
no.
Okay.
I'm hesitant about talking about this one.
Okay.
But okay. Anyway, that's another one. But I'm just like, I wonder what this telescope is real or not.
Okay. So
and maybe they're communicating.
Okay, let me. I'm going to address some of the comments real quick.
Oh, I can. Sorry, I didn't see.
No, Mr. Crisper says, don't forget putting tape on your car antenna. Think about it. No one had so many UFO conspiracies when we had tinfoil on our antennas. And we also have our tinfoil hats on hand at all times, ready to go when necessary.
Yeah, I still have somebody that...
I'd rather wrap my car antenna in tinfoil and see if I can get a UFO
I still know somebody
sighting.
that wraps their phone in
of course we
foil.
Do. Because we are not the craziest people out there. Mr. Holly English, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Nice to catch you live. And Anthony Blaze, what's good? What's happening? Okay, so now we've gone a lot of different directions.
Sorry.
No. I think this is great. Do you want to talk? Is there anything more on the tunnel systems that you were trying to get to as to like, I mean, we know that there's tunnel systems. The military has them. The public have them. Private industry like has them. But are you suggesting
about
there's
those
more
areas
to it?
that may cause it to be a more of a...
So the correlation between the cave systems and the UFO sightings mapped out, they do, overlap to a lot of degree.
Yeah.
As well as cryptid sightings. Although you're going to be hard pressed to get me to believe like Bigfoot's traveling underground through tunnels and popping up, and that's why it's hard to find.
But if Bigfoot was traveling, he'd be going through the Appalachian Mountains where all the caves.
Well, but the Appalachian Mountains is like one tiny little spot on all that map. Like that's this.
But there's cave systems all over the place.
No, I know.
Trails and mountains.
No, I know, but you could say so. I'm saying in the Colorado Rockies and in the Sierra Nevada mountains and the Appalachian Mountain, they're in all the mountain systems, right?
Yep.
So, I'm just saying, because the Appalachian Mountains aren't anywhere near the Pacific Northwest, which is where the majority of Bigfoot sightings are. Well, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of disappearance. There's a lot of serial killers. There's a lot of, it's like, what is the source of the energy coming from these tunnel systems that make all of these things happen? The sightings, the UFOs, the cryptids, the missing people, the serial killer victim list, that kind of thing. Like,
well, and that's the thing. You couldn't just say, well, it's a bigger state or it's a bigger population of the state. That's probably why. You can't necessarily say that, because if you looked at it, I think it was Ohio or something like that. a little dinky state.
I think the cave systems are more likely to be in less populated areas, like in the middle of Iowa or in the middle of, number one, you have military bases. Number two, you have underground systems that people, man, have created for the purpose of hiding underground. I mean, we went through the entire Cold War thinking we were going to get a nuclear attack on the United States at any moment, at any time, all through the 80s. And so that led to a lot of underground stuff being built.
So you tell me this. How do all of these countries come together and sign a treaty about Antarctica? Because lo and behold, I can't find any really good maps on that one.
Well, number one, Antarctica wasn't explored, deeply explored until the
Project Blue Book.
1900s. Huh?
Project Blue Book.
No, I know, but in the 1900s, I'm saying like there were millions of years pre 1900 that
Just
nobody
saying.
even. I mean, we
Like
knew
you're
of
telling
Antarctica.
me, like we all came together and said, "Okay, we're not going to go there. We're not going to mess with it." Blah blah blah.
It wasn't that we all agreed we're not going to go there. We couldn't go there. It's the coldest place on Earth. It's
So?
uninhabitable.
So
Until we had the equipment and the resources, we couldn't go there.
if I wanted a secret like doomsday bunker, it would probably be there, not
Hell
out
no,
in the
I'd
middle
freeze
of
to death.
not out in the middle of what was Bezos or whatever. Where'd he buy his? He bought a doomsday bunker in like Iowa or some weird state.
Yeah.
Because the ice cap.
Blaze says the Denver airport has them. There's a lot of conspiracy around the Denver airport. There is a lot of conspiracy and a lot of ghost stories around the Denver airport. We will definitely be talking about that at some point in a video, for sure. So I know that that's the case. Now there is a suggested. Well, let's say there's a conspiracy theory, because that's what it is at this point. It goes back to this. One person reported seeing it, and we've all been looking for it ever since. Sort of the lost treasure type theories. Somebody found a lost treasure, but then they never went back, and everybody's been looking for it ever since, and it hasn't happened. So that leads to what you brought up before, Mitchie, which is the farmer. No, the farmer, I believe it was in Kentucky. He found a depression on his land, and then tell that story.
Oh, that he found giant mummies.
But first, he dug on his land and found
a cave system,
an underground cave system,
and it went down, and then he had to go down even farther
because he found a hole, essentially like a well.
Yep.
And so he went down through the well.
What did I say?
A depression
in his land, and then he started digging, and then he found a hole, and he went down in the hole, and then it went farther into a tunnel system, to like a little cave, and then he found giant mummies,
mummified giants. Now, again, this was his word, and there have been a lot of cave exploration since then of people trying to find this mummified giant remains. The earth was once inhabited by giants, according to folklore and legend.
And there are skeletons that have been found that somebody was 25 feet tall. It's at the.
Yeah, I mean, there's been recorded, documented recovery of bones that exceed a normal average human. I don't know about 25 feet, but maybe. I could be wrong. I haven't looked it up.
Look at the world's largest skeleton bones found, because I'm pretty sure it said 25 feet.
I will look that up. I will look that up while you entertain. You're full.
Oh,
just
man,
you on
I
camera.
just thought about something.
What'd you find?
No, I just thought about something I completely forgot to do, but I think we could still manage to make it come out on the long run. Okay, so the mummies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently
25 and a half feet long.
See, I told you I was right.
Feet long with a width of 10 feet from the left to the right shoulder.
Was like 5 feet big or something.
From left shoulder to right shoulder, 10 and a half feet.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
But I did find that the oldest mummy ever found was not in Egypt, that it was actually in South America. And
the oldest mummy?
Yep. Yeah. That was the oldest mummy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was kind of interesting though, because I mean, I also find it when people say mummies, your my first thought goes to like Egypt with the hieroglyphics and the sarcophagus
Hmm.
and the whole thing. Mine goes into that, me thinking of a mummy, not the fact of when people say they found mummies, it just depends. Cave systems. They are
Yes.
great for mummifying a body, apparently. Sorry.
Yes.
But
So it takes preservation in multiple ways to mummify a body,
the
and
air,
it could just be a sealed coffin with no wrap, and it just mummifies the body. But also can happen by wrapping the body, which is what we know in scary movies and Halloween stuff as a mummy, a wrapped body. What are you looking for? Are you good over there?
no, I'm looking for my phone.
Oh, I don't know. Here, you get up and look for it. So mummified,
Sorry.
mummified. Yeah, I mean, remains can be caused by a number of different factors. It doesn't just have to be wrapped up in toilet paper or whatever we do. You found that thing over there yet? You good? Almost. Okay. Um, so mummies have been found all over the world because mummies don't necessarily mean. So they mummified bodies into tombs and encapsulated them into crypts and things in ancient Egypt to identify royalty, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were royalty. All mummified remains were royalty in some manner, because the mummies have been found all across the world, from South America to Mexico to United States, Canada, and everywhere out east. So certainly not just Egypt. You found
Yep,
yourself
I'm
there?
good. You can
Okay.
go ahead
All right.
now.
We're back.
Yep, I'm looking for videos.
I can't drink out of this anymore because it actually is empty now.
Stop.
Let me refill it with something. I'll do that.
Ew.
What?
What are you doing?
It's just tea. I can fill my tea with. I can fill my cup with something else.
So, what was stop?
So what did you forget that you wanted to bring back in? Because I mean,
So it's for the ending.
okay,
It was my grand finale of my
you're
nonsense
you're
that
you're
I
10 minutes unscripted from the cuff.
yeah that it was, but I can email it or send you the link in
Okay, so what are we getting at with mummies? Just the idea
okay,
that they.
yes. So basically, I thought it was interesting because in my mind, when I hear that mummies have been found in
South
America,
America,
I think it's super fascinating
Central
because I would have
America.
never thought in a million years that like they were over here. And there was multiple different Egyptians over here, I guess, and mummies, because each time people were
Mummified.
mummified, uh, it was like different ways by like Native American tribes used to do it.
Right, but that doesn't mean Egyptians were over here mummifying
No, no,
people.
no, no. There were Egyptians
I'm not
over here.
saying there weren't.
There were actually like some Egyptian mummies were found, I guess.
I'm not saying that Egyptians didn't come over to the North American continent as Asians did, as other cultures did. I mean, Native Americans come from Asian heritage because back in the day when the land's locked, right?
Huh?
So Alaska actually touched Russia, and that you could just walk across the border over into North America, and then over time it's not passable now. There's water there, so
Yeah.
the
So
Native American people, through DNA testing, have been identified as Asian culture or Asian background DNA, which means that a lot of people came across that way, and so too did Egyptians, so too did um, uh, Israelites, so too as a number of different cultures
yep,
came over to North America before Christopher Columbus, right?
yep. I just thought it was interesting though because of
But that doesn't mean that all mummified bodies are Egyptian
correct,
or influenced by Egypt.
correct.
Okay.
But there were some that were found from Egypt that were mummified here.
How do we know they were?
That's
Science
what,
and DNA?
yeah, that was it. That's what
Okay.
I found.
Okay. Because,
And
like, theoretically, you could exhume a body
yeah,
in the United States 300 years from now. That was just one of our relatives, but they just were in an airtight casket.
mhm.
And the remains would potentially be mummified if it was in an airtight casket. So that wouldn't mean that, like, some Egyptians came over and mummified your body. It just was in the right environment to be mummified.
Yeah.
That's all I was getting
I
at. I
just
just
thought,
wasn't sure how we knew that those ones you're talking about were mummified or were Egyptian in some
yeah.
way.
No. That one I found out. Like, but I also found out there has been, I think what I found was 200 to 300 were Egypt, and that we found over 1 million here, and there's been over like 10 million found over in Egypt. Because that I was looking through, because
I mean,
technically
those
you.
numbers seem astronomically high. I'm not
Oh,
doubting you. I didn't
no.
research it. I'm not doubting
No,
you. We
I thought
just,
the Egypt one was. I already thought the Egypt one was like super high when I
yeah,
found that one out.
it
But
seems astronomically high. But
I
there are
guess I
millions
guess
of people that
recently
live
somebody
there.
found 3,000 mummies in one setting.
But were they mummies or was it a burial site? Because
And
I
it said
get
mummies.
skeletal remain. You could unearth a graveyard and or a mass graveyard and uncover
They could have all
3,000
been mummified.
3,000
That's how,
bodies.
but they all could have been mummified. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there could have been, not doesn't mean they were in a casket and
Well, I
like
guess it all depends on what you mean by mummified because there's a whole
they
process
could
that
have
goes into
opened up some type
mummifying a
of
body.
like underground tunnel or cave and found them because of the area that they were in.
You understand what I'm saying, though?
Yes, I
There's a
do.
no there's a process to mummification. It's not only wrapping the body to protect it from the elements, but it's also sealing it in an airtight capacity. So if that's the
You don't
case,
have to wrap them.
then correct. But it just buried in the ground isn't an airtight
I,
capacity like
I,
that would encourage mummification. So I'm saying yes, I think that there's been mass burial sites that have been uncovered, but I don't know that. Maybe it's just semantics. Maybe it's just word games. I just don't know if they would be what we traditionally know of as mummies. But what the hell do I? Maybe they're all mummy. Maybe every person on Earth was buried as a mummy. What's the difference between a mummy and a zombie? It comes back to life.
yeah, pretty much.
But there's mummies that come back to life. I've seen the movie with Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know either. That's a weird. Again, I'm not questioning I think it's semantics. I think we're just saying the same thing differently. Um, I just, I'm getting too technical on what we are identifying as a mummy, and who cares? Maybe they're all mummy.
Yeah. Okay. So.
What you got? You look like you got something working there.
Well, I do. I'm still trying to find that thing to have it. But do you want to talk about the Bohemian?
Sure, why not? I don't know anything about this subject.
Okay. We're gonna, like I told you earlier, I'm gonna have to do just a.
Let's do a
Can I do a Mitchy
precursor.
version of it?
Let's just do a general snapshot of it so that we can dig deeper in the future.
Yes.
A lot of the things we're talking about now, we're going to dig deeper into in the future episodes.
We're
but
just
tonight we just kind of wanted
rambling
to
back and forth.
Yeah, tonight we just kind of wanted to just hash it all out and put a bunch of stuff out there.
So there is a place out in California that two artists created out in the middle of like the forest area in California, and it is called the Bohemian
Grove.
Bohemian Grove. And I about said that.
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
It
But
is not that song.
this was back in like middle late 1800s, when it was created, and it is currently, since then, an all men uh, club group, club group, and they meet every year for the first 2 weeks of July, and it is a invitation only to get
Yes.
in. And you better have some money or be in
You
politics,
better be
or
somebody
you
important.
better have you better be somebody that can basically scratch their back for them to scratch your back.
Yeah, it was founded in San Francisco in 1872. It's now located in Monte Rio.
And they have like a high security gate area. You cannot get in. Like I said, it's invitation only. You better know somebody that's going to invite you in, because there are photos that have been leaked online of the ceremonies that actually happen.
So let me give you some basis on that
Thank you.
ceremony. Okay, so there is an annual retreat. The most notable event that they have, it's a 2-week encampment in July, where members gather for a series of lectures, performances, and social activities. But one of the activities includes what's called, quote unquote, the Lakeside Talks, where prominent members give speeches on various topics, and the cremation of care, a theatrical ceremony meant to symbolize the release of worldly concern. Now that is the everybody's around the owl, right?
Yes, the owl.
Yeah. So tell me
It's
about
like
the
this,
owl.
like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 100-foot, like, tootsie pop licking owl.
It's not how many licks does it take?
Sorry, that's not true. There's no tootsie pop in his hand.
Thanks for
But
saying that
it
before I took a drink.
but it's literally in the middle, and they're all in these like cloaks, and they've got like this fire in their porches, and like they're all doing these chanting things, and
It's a very secret.
it,
It's everything you think a secret society
and
would be.
people that have tried to actually get in there, and they have gotten like kicked out, arrested, and I mean
Well, it's a
some of them
members
you've
only by
never seen them
invitation.
again.
Yeah, it's a members only by invitation. Like, how would
Yes.
you sneak into that? You
Get
know?
invited. You get
Yeah,
invited,
but I think you have to be somebody of major social influence
and
or rich.
or you are, if they allow a +1 because they're trying to get more members. But there was somebody that has gone in there and actually snuck a videotape and was able to get photos. That is why you can currently see the statue of the owl. And
What's up, Dead Zone?
so I know we're not going to
Well, let's talk about this, though, for 1 second, because the conspiracy theories and public perception that go along with that society,
they
specifically,
have rituals like
specifically
sacrifice.
because of who they are. They're highly influential, highly wealthy. A lot of them are politically connected. So that the exclusivity of this group, the Bohemian Grove, it gives rise to a number of conspiracy theories, which are basically like New World Order, where they think it's a meeting place for the planning and execution of a global agenda, sometimes referred to as the New World Order, where it's like one government, one world order. Occult practices, the cremation of care ceremony involving a large owl statue symbolizing wisdom,
Yep.
has been interpreted by some as an occult ritual, though members claim it's purely theatrical and symbolic. Critics argue that the Grove provides a venue for behind the scenes deals and networking among the elite, potentially influencing major political and economic decisions. So there's a lot going on in that. That leads to a lot of conspiracy theory. Primarily, I think the New World Order would be the most, or at least influencing public policy on a grand scale, whether that's within the United States or elsewhere, but shaping and molding political policy for their own power and gain.
Mm.
So, yeah, Clint Eastwood talked about it years ago. Interesting. I'll look more
I
into
mean,
that.
but there's been presidents, there's been
Sure.
like just anybody that is very influential, it has been there. And but you have to be a male. But I do know that they had like, since they originally started this thing, there was 3 female and 2 have already passed away. but I think they do like the
Well,
library or the book or like the
all this stuff is
just like
all that weird shit is always some men's club or
it
you
really
know.
is. But I mean, there's been like I mean, there's movies that have like referenced this
Yeah,
society,
yeah.
and I guess
One we watched that
that's
I highly recommend. I
and
don't remember what it was
I
called.
wasn't gonna bring that up.
Now,
There I
and I said don't bring it up from a standpoint of like why bring up a fictional movie to reference a
be, because
factual
how I
thing, but
originally came across this
yeah,
thing was because that movie.
right.
It showed this thing, and of course, I go down this rabbit hole in my head. Well, like this is probably got to be somewhere based off of something because it does sound like something that would be a normal
What was the name of that
everyday
movie?
thing, huh?
What was the name of that movie?
Interview with not interview with the devil,
That's
but
what I wanted to say too, though.
late night.
Oh, Late Night with the Devil or something like that. Late Night with the Devil was the name of that movie.
Yep.
Fantastic movie if you are
Yeah,
into.
it was a really good movie,
I
and
don't want to say scary
it,
movies, but technically it's
you
under
know
the
what
horror
though?
genre.
That owl creeped me the crap out though, so I'm just gonna say
Yeah,
that that movie
yeah, it
it
referenced
really
that.
did. It was just very
I know.
odd.
I don't use that movie to fact
No,
reference
no, no, no.
anything about the.
No, but the owl thing freaks me out. That's how.
Yeah,
But that big owl, that thing has got to be at least 100 feet tall. I mean,
it's an
how'd they get that
effigy.
out there?
It's an effigy. They built it. It's probably paper mache
But what are
for
they doing
Christ's
with
sake.
all this money? Why do they
What do you
need
mean? What are they doing with
power?
his money?
I don't know, but there was a
They're
lot of
just
things.
rich people. They
But what
have.
did we talk about that we found out about some of the people? They get together and it's almost like they have a big meeting about what plans they're going to make.
Yeah, Mark says the women
Oh,
were only honorary members.
not the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, no, it was.
Was it the
There was
Manhattan?
some connection to the
Yeah,
Manhattan Project, but
yes.
without any knowledge of any of that stuff, I mean, you
Sorry.
say what's the deal with the money? I mean, they were all just very highly wealthy people
But what do they
that
do?
also that influence each other, make
You got
networking
it.
connections, and make deals to make themselves richer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that I mean, money rules the world. So the people with the most money are always the most powerful people in the United States.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Whether we like it or not, we don't have to like it. I don't like it, but that's just the fact. Presidents are typically wealthy. Senators and congressmen are typically wealthy. The people with the most influence are private citizens that have political connections, whether they're the leaders of Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram,
Yeah.
Amazon, Walmart, you name it, major retailers that are worth billions. They all have more political power than any individual.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only way that money relates to that whole Bohemian Grove thing, is they were just all very wealthy, and it's almost a prerequisite to be a member of that club is to be highly wealthy.
Right.
So I don't know. There's a lot of cults on the list that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Heaven's Gate cult. I want to go at some point, I want to get highly controversial and talk about, the evidence of the existence of a God versus the evidence of the existence of UFOs, and where
are we talking about what
do we really come from?
Are we talking about like?
And where do we really come from? Are we?
We're talking about that podcast.
No, I'm just simply saying that I'd like to take that topic of, one of the reasons that many people don't believe in a God is because there's no scientific evidence that stands alone as proof of the existence of a God. So that is the kind of the atheist theory of why they don't believe in a God. So is there evidence enough of aliens or UFO extraterrestrial? And then can you say, then therefore, how do you correlate? Where do we come from? So Heaven's Gate believed that we are all from UFOs. Scientology believes that we are all some sort of spiritual race of aliens of some kind. And so we're all going to go back to that. And so I want to just kind of, maybe in a really crazy, controversial way talk about those kind of things as well at some point.
Okay.
Uh,
I like it.
yeah, Mark says, and this is a great reference point. So I don't know if you ever saw the movie Eyes Wide Shut. Did you see that?
I feel like I have.
With Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
many people thought that movie was about the Bohemian Grove Club. I had to look it up because I almost said Rhapsody myself.
See?
I know, it's
At
hard.
least I didn't talk about flamethrowers and stuff.
Flamethrowers.
Yeah,
Only reason you talking about flamethrowers is because you want to use it for snow. No, it is illegal in this household.
Not in the city. I found that out.
In this household, it is.
Found the right code,
in
so
this household, it's illegal to have a flamethrower as a snow shovel. What? No, but you're going to burn the house down with it.
I'm not.
Yes.
No, not as bad.
What? I'm a freaking trained chef. What are you talking about? I'm going to burn the house down cooking a pizza as a trained chef before she does with a flamethrower to melt the snow on the driveway. Interesting. Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of stuff because we have, again, this whole list of various topics that we want to talk about over time. The cults that I really want to get into are Heaven's Gate, Jonestown. Those are a lot of the kind of well-known ones, but really I want to get into some of the lesser-known ones. The Church of Bible Understanding, the Family International is pretty well-known. The Movement for the Restoration of the Ten Commandments of God, the Brethren, Church of the Almighty God. There's some other ones in here, the Unification Church, which are the Moonies, the Love Family. There's a whole lot of different cults that I want to talk about and get into at some point in one of these upcoming shows. I think we're going to we will do Denver Airport, Blaze. We're going to do that at some point. That's going to go more under ghost stories, maybe, I think. I'm not real sure where we're going to go with that one. But then there's some like the Travis Scott. It's not Travis Scott, is it? Hang on. I got to find the name of this because I don't want to. I just said Travis Scott and I know that's not it. Where'd my envelope go? Anyway, the Travis somebody alien abduction.
Oh, yeah.
What's his last name?
Smith?
Travis.
You want to hear about a cult going on recently?
Where did my...
It's a TikTok cult. It's called the 7M one. I don't really know anything about it.
Travis Walton.
There you go.
Okay, what now?
No, there really is they're calling it the TikTok cult. It's the 7M dance group. They're just like ones that get on there and they do like the dances to the things or whatever. But it's owned by this like billionaire guy from like another country. And he owns this house where like these dancers film. I don't know. I don't really know anything about it besides that.
It's not a cult unless they're out murdering people and causing havoc in the world.
No, that's not the definition of a cult, and you know that.
No, I understand what the definition of the cult is because I do want to break down the BITE model that explains what a cult is and apply it to modern day religion as a whole as well sometime.
I sent you an email of the video I would like you to show for our ending
tonight
conclusion. Yes.
I can't do that while we're live.
Oh, you can't show?
No, I need all that stuff before the live goes so that I can set this all up before the live happens.
Dang.
I mean, I told you that 1,000 times.
Well, can I just show the video on my phone up to the camera?
I
forgot.
I don't know. I'll see what I can do. I'm
sorry.
Okay, let's see. Papa Missouri says, Mark Schaefer says, we all here drink the Kool-Aid. Poppin says, yum, did someone say Kool-Aid? Anthony says, it's not much ghost, but into New World Order and demon statues. Yeah, the demon statues is where the ghost part comes into play. And
And
Papa Missouri says that's the dancing cult. Apparently, he knows what you're talking
it
about.
is. I told you it's the dancing cult. Um,
Into world paintings as well. Yes.
so there's some weird. I know I brought.
Okay, so there's a documentary on Netflix. He believes about
Oh, I
7M.
wouldn't watch that.
About 7M. That's
I
the
don't even.
dancing cult.
Yeah, I know, but I don't even.
Why
It.
wouldn't you watch it?
I think they isolate. I think what it really got. I don't know what about it. I just know that they've started isolating the dancers away from their family,
Okay,
and friends have came forward.
that
But
starts to get into the bite model.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
behavioral. Yeah,
But here's the other thing.
behavior control, I should say.
I I don't really know. I just feel like it's. I don't know. I feel like that's like a controlling uh thing.
Well,
But
I mean, cults control your behavior, your
but that's her business. That's
information,
where she works. She works for that company.
your technology, your thought, your uh, environment, everything. So
So there's this statue. There's some weird stuff that's been happening, but
that's what we're here to talk about.
well, I know, but I'm gonna say like I mean I cannot remember the first thing. The second thing I can
It's
remember though.
my favorite kind of Mitchy story.
Are you ready?
Sure, do it.
So, of course,
There's this guy in this one
Of course,
place.
I'm going back to the Vatican.
Okay.
But there's a statue that I guess has like a crown on its head or something like that. It's like the second time that the Vatican area has gotten struck by lightning and it literally knocked the crown off the thing's head. I don't know if it actually knocked the whole head off on the second round of lightning strikes, but I do find it all weird.
Okay, so let's dive into that because I have two thoughts.
Okay.
Number one, does that indicate anything? Okay, so
Someone said that might be the last pope.
who influences the weather? An all-controlling God, or in this case, demonic something that's causing lightning to strike religious places? Or is the weather controlled by the government? And it's a government's attempt to eliminate organized religion, the largest organized religion, because some people think that the government can control the weather and foreign powers can control the weather.
I don't think so unless they're setting volcanoes off up at
What up, Simon Crook?
that big ice ledge up in Alaska or Antarctica.
Well, that's not weather. That's
I
mean,
told
a
you,
volcanic
but
eruption is
if that was to happen up there and it lets go of that ledge of water or whatever like that that is all going to make all the sea
okay, but
levels
that
rise.
again, that is not weather. I was talking about weather control.
Oh.
Whereas volcanic eruption or heat sources, because you mentioned that there were multiple heat sources similar to that one you were talking about near Africa that have been detected
Off in
underground
the
that
ocean.
are higher temperatures than normal in the ocean around the Arctic Circle or Antarctica. Which one? Arctic Circle. North.
You're really asking that?
North Pole.
Are
Santa.
you really asking?
Right? I believe in the Arctic Circle.
What's the difference?
Which could cause the polar ice caps to I don't want to say melt, but certainly cave into the water. Melt to the extent that they would crack and then fall into the ocean, which supposedly would rise the sea level 10 feet,
Yeah.
which would cause massive global flooding.
So, yeah.
Not on the scale of we need to build an ark.
No, but it does explain, and I wasn't joking about those underground bunkers being bought and built underground
Don't put
in
me
the
in an
middle.
underground bunker if the sea rises 10
No,
feet.
but they're buying them in this like 200. They're buying like hundreds and hundreds of acres, like in Oklahoma. Somebody I can't remember bought an underground bunker, like lit. I'm serious.
No, sweetie, I know, but
It's
I
like
just
Zuckerman or Zuckerman or
somehow we are right back. Jeff Bezos.
that one, and then
And-
another one.
And what's just funny, why I'm laughing is because
I'm bad. I'm
we
sorry.
were talking about weather. So you brought up the volcanic and eruptions and the ice wall. that would raise the sea level. And while I'm talking about that, you start talking about the underground bunkers again in Iowa,
All
which we've
right.
come full circle.
So here, I'm going to help you. Let's backtrack for a second. I was talking about the
Please.
lightning strikes that were happening, and
Yes.
then there was something else that happened there too, but literally knocked the crown off the statue
Right.
or the
So
head.
why did that happen? Was that an act of God? Was that demonic powers? Was it an omen? Was it a government agency that controls the weather that is trying to cause chaos within organized religion around the globe? What caused
That's a little
lightning to
much.
strike the head and knock the crown off of the statue? That's the question.
I don't know.
Do you have a theory on it?
Well,
See, Anthony Blaise says the
so
governments can control.
I'm just saying,
Yes, Charles, for sure.
I mean, I don't know. My reasoning might be my reasoning off the wall, so I don't really, I just, I don't know. But I do find it odd that that is happening because it's never happened before. And
And lightning never strikes twice in the same place.
like I
But it
said, it's
did.
like the second event of something that's happened with hope going on. And so and on top of that, I don't know.
So a lot to
You know
research on
my
that
theory with the
topic.
Vatican, so I'm just
So a
gonna say
lot to
with that.
research on that topic before we go further down that rabbit hole, which we will do in a future episode.
Yeah.
And we'll talk in depth more about that. Charles brought up a point. He said, I've been watching shows on the Oklahoma City bombing lately, and it's opened my eyes to the possibility of a cover up. Go and watch any major event that's happened in our lifetime and then evaluate the conspiracies around it. And I believe that every conspiracy starts with a fraction of truth. Excuse me. So, whether the conspiracy is accurate or not, I'm not saying it is. All I'm saying is that there is some level of questionability to every major event. Now, a lot of people, talk about 9/11 as there was a conspiracy theory around that. There's been conspiracy theories around school shootings, around the Oklahoma City bombers. The one I have a personal connection with was the TWA Flight 800. TWA Flight 800, I had family on board that plane, and there were multiple eyewitnesses that did not know each other from different parts of the area that all saw a surface to air missile shoot down that plane. And yet, over time and research and investigations and all that, it came out that it was an explosion. There was a spark in the cargo area that caused above the gas tanks that caused the gas tanks to ignite and the whole plane to explode. And to this day, I don't believe that story. I believe that something shot down that plane. And there's plenty of evidence to suggest that it did. So, I would never put it past the government to cover up something that would incriminate them in some capacity, whether it was a mistaken missile from the U.S. military, or whether it was a terrorist attack that they wanted to cover up to not panic the citizens of the United States. I don't know why they would do it, but I do believe that they did it. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say the same thing about 9/11. I'm not going to say the same thing about any of the school shootings, or the Oklahoma City bombing. I don't know enough information about that stuff yet to know whether or not that there are legitimate conspiracy theories around those topics. I just know the one that I know, and I've seen enough documentaries on that to believe other things. Chemtrails. There's a lot of talk about chemtrails, but I don't know. That's just too far for me. Chemtrails are too far for me. The planes that leave the streaks in the sky, are they actually dispersing some sort of chemical to control the population? I don't know. All right, what do you got popping around in there?
That my mom thinks that I'm gonna seriously use a flamethrower.
Oh, your mom's watching and thinks you're going to use a flamethrower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say get off the
We are not using
politics
we are
thing.
not using a flamethrower
No, I will.
in this house
I can,
anywhere.
Max would be excited, but
No, Max would be on my side with this
no,
one.
we wouldn't.
Max would be okay with me using a flamethrower. Nobody's
No,
okay with
actually,
you
he wouldn't because
using
he
a
was
flamethrower.
a firefighter.
Yeah, nobody's going to be okay with
inspector.
with a flamethrower.
Anyway,
Anyway,
okay. So yeah, I don't really have any more brain, but like the only thing I do have is there. I don't,
so go ahead. I'm going to try to get this thing that you sent me uploaded. I'm going to see
okay,
if
so
I can do it while we're
so
talking.
I can just go.
Well, yeah, I don't want you to start that topic because it's going to take me 5-10 minutes to get this thing working if I can at all.
I meant that I've got something
Yeah.
that you remember how we said something. I know that
Is it a subject I said we can't talk about, so we should talk about it? I mean, oh man, I really can't do this.
Maybe. So,
my name's Devin Adams.
Can you do it or no?
I don't know. I'm gonna try, but I'm gonna have to do all kind. I gotta download a video.
So, anyway, so back in what would be the 1940 something, I don't know when it was, Project Blue Book or whatever, when they sent people out. Was that the one where they sent people out there to the middle of Antarctica? No, that's not it. Bluebird?
Bluebird.
Because they said that there's aliens in the pyramid underground. You know what I'm talking about? And a whole bunch of military.
You just talk to the crowd because I'm trying to get this thing done.
So originally, I'm probably wrong. It's either Bluebird or Blue Book.
It's Bluebird. Blue Book is a whole different.
Bluebird.
Aliens.
It's a military operation where they did research about the underground of Antarctica, and then they found something. So it's that. But
Let me get me started on the pyramids.
The guy that was doing one of the guys out.
My name's Devin Adams. I'm a retired professor of anthropology from the University of Wisconsin.
Doing or whatever like that.
My name's Devin Adams.
Died, and that's when they ended up making the treaty about not going back up there.
Oh, I'm screwing everything up, guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh, did you like my cryptid things again?
I don't know what I was just showing on camera, but I got your video uploaded, but everybody's watching what I'm working on. So I don't know if they could even hear you talking.
Maybe. Hold on. I don't know. But
go ahead, though.
Oh, no. The screen was completely black.
I know, because I was adding that video in. That's why I can't do it when we're live.
My bad.
It's uploaded and ready to go when you are. So I don't know what you're talking about now.
Okay, I just rambled about. I don't know what I said. Anyway, I believe that there's a pit stop for the aliens up there too.
Where?
Antarctica.
What did I miss?
I wonder if they get cold.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Do you think they have like body temperature thing? I don't know. I guess since we have the heat thing, we don't ever see them with like the hot and the cold stuff. So I would say maybe their bodies are like invisible or something. Anyway.
Yeah, you have to understand, Mitchie, I didn't mean any disrespect by it, but I was putting that video in. I didn't listen to anything you said.
No,
I can't
that's
do
okay.
multiple things
I didn't
at once.
need to because I feel like I've talked to you about this 5 billion times.
Gotcha.
You're okay.
B for Brandon says FBI shut them down.
Yeah, right?
No. Just me trying to do something I don't know how to do while we're live, which I
and of course I
won't ever do again.
I'm sorry.
No, that's not your fault. Well,
It was
it's
'cause I
kind of
was
your
supposed
fault,
to.
but
I was, but anyway, you figured it out. Good now.
yeah, it's all set up and ready.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know
You
if that's
did
what
that
you're.
so quick, though.
Yeah,
Good for you.
by screwing up the live stream, but I can work that out. Okay, so do you want to go into this Mitchie
I'm ready.
Mitchie thing that you wanted to do? What is this? 10 minutes of unfiltered Mitchie?
No, it's not. I feel
What?
like you've let me be really unfiltered already. I don't really know.
Okay, so you're just
Okay, so
talking
I
about
want to
something.
show you guys this video that, I mean, it's a whole thing, but I want you guys to watch this video and seriously think about it and tell me what you think. Tell me if you think that it is real. Is it a possibility? Or is
Okay,
it
so let's just watch
okay?
the video. Let's just show the video, and then let people draw conclusions,
Yep.
and then you have a point to why you're showing them this
Yes.
video.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that's what we're getting at. We're going to go to it now. I can't hear it, Mitchie. You won't be able to hear it either.
Okay.
But
I can hear it.
But maybe I'll turn my phone up and I can hear it that way.
Yeah.
So all right.
Okay.
So giddy up.
My name's Devin Adams. I'm a retired professor of anthropology from the University of Wisconsin. I'd like to invite you to join me on an amazing journey in my search for the lost hydrocephalic patients who were released from sanatoriums in and around the Southern California area, where just prior to World War II, these sanatoriums opened their doors and allowed these patients to leave and to discover a way of life on their own. What's amazing is I've made contact and I've discovered the fact that these folks survived, and there's another generation that is continuing to survive. I will share with you some of the experiences as fascinating and as exhilarating as they've been. They've also been very disturbing. These individuals have lived for decades in an incredibly remote place, and so they've developed a lifestyle and a way of life very, very different than ours. And most people might find that to be perhaps shocking. But ultimately, it's all about learning, and I see this as the next step in my journey. So I would encourage you to hit subscribe and let the journey continue.
I don't even think that's the original one that I showed you.
Okay, but hang on real quick. Don't be surprised if this video gets pulled down and re-uploaded, because I'm going to get copyright strike for that, I'm sure.
I'm sorry.
No. I didn't realize what I was uploading. So, but it is important that we saw that for what you're going to say. So just know that this might go down and then re-upload. If you get a notification that we uploaded a video and it's this and you've already watched it, that's probably why I've taken it down, edited that part out. But go ahead, because I do think that this is important.
Okay.
If it's where I think it's going. I hope it is.
So the guy, the doctor, or the teacher, doctor, scientist guy that is going out there and looking for the lost patients of the asylum, 100% thought that was real when I first saw the trailer for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is a very well done trailer.
That's not even the right one.
But it's a very mind-opening, like, okay, what's really going on out here? This is worth looking into.
So, of course, Jeremy, what did you say?
Well, this is,
and I'll give you my opinion after that.
This is the type of thing that Mitchie will bring to the table and say, look at this. Can you believe this? This is real. I just saw this. This is real. And I go, my thought process.
I thought it was a new documentary.
Right.
Keep in mind.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to defend yourself. I'm not saying anything bad. And my thought process is always immediately, oh, that's got to be fake as F, you know? Like, there's no way that's real. I'm going to watch it to prove that I'm right, or if I'm wrong, holy cow, this is going to blow my mind. But that's why I always say I'm a healthy skeptic and Mitchie's a believe it until proven otherwise.
So this is over the heavens like cult thing too. That's what they called it. Also, it had.
Well, that led into this led into that.
This led into that. But the first thing I did was, before I brought this to you, was I looked up the asylum and there was a real asylum where patients had been released. They were just told to leave.
There have been times where asylums have shut down and they just released the patients.
So they had nowhere to go, and that part was legit. And then I found out he was a real doctor for that college, apparently. But the rest is all bullshit.
Yeah, so the moral of this story is don't believe everything that you see, because Hollywood, or not even Hollywood, in this case, a guy with a camera and some editing skills can put out a very believable story based on some limited factual information and make it incredibly believable to the extent that you'll watch a multi-part documentary series.
I would have.
And unfortunately in this case, I think it was the first or second video in, they showed some video footage that I was like, that's the worst CGI I've ever seen. Knowing immediately that that's complete and utter horseshit. And that's how we got down that rabbit hole.
In my mind, two things. First of all, in my mind, if he wouldn't have just, because he has a whole website too, In Search of the Tribe, has a whole website. If he would have not just posted like little short clips on TikTok and actually made these into actually like,
he could have done a Blackwell Ghost series.
He could have literally landed I probably would have been the person that sat there and watched all of them.
He could have turned it into a Blackwell Ghost series.
Yes, and I love Blackwell Ghost, so don't get me started on that. You do not compare that. Anyway, second thing being is that don't believe everything that you see. Actually sit there, do your research. He had a really good trailer, and that isn't even the right one, but do your research before you hear it, because sometimes it's not even. Let
me save you the trouble.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, not you.
Oh.
Let me save you, the listener, the trouble in this specific scenario, and don't waste 1 second of your life on it. Right? This was a very well done trailer and first part of the story. But then he takes it like he just has to build on the craziness deeper and deeper and deeper, which he went through this whole series about trying to find these people and all this stuff before then when that was over, he had to look for the next thing because it went viral and people watched it. And
it's still viral. He's still making videos.
Because that's when he linked the cult side of it into it.
He did at the beginning, actually.
So it's just, I don't care how.
I know.
It was stupid and it was worthless. And it's just one of those people that are trying to make you believe something that is bullshit. And
it's for entertainment purposes.
No. I think it's for gullibility purposes. He wants people to believe that this is real. This isn't entertainment. He's trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. I'm okay with doing something for the sake of entertainment, whether it's factual or not factual. I watch movies all the time.
He's even got other actors in this thing too.
This is a guy who's trying to portray something as actual fact and trying to make us believe things that aren't real. And that's what I don't like about it.
It's interesting though. It really is.
No, it's not.
Oh. No, okay. Well, to him it's not. To me it is. And that's okay. It's not a big deal.
What is your interest in finding out about a race of people that don't exist?
Because I think that there's people up there. I think it's like.
No, there is a.
I think there's things out there that we don't need to know about. So, but
I agree. There's all kinds of things. We know about the backwood, country, ancestral families and that kind of stuff, and the
blue
hills
people.
have eyes and all that kind of stuff, right? Um, I understand that there's weird shit out there, but this is just a made up for the sake of being made up. And Mark Schaefer says it has to be true because he just saw it on the internet.
Yes. But no, but for real though, like some of the storyline and like everything else, because like I Google reverse image the photos, like, because you know how my brain is, like I see something and I'm like over obsessive about trying to figure out everything single thing about nitpicking it completely apart to figure it out, right? But I'm also that person that will believe paranormal activity is real until I have to look it up.
Right.
You
Right.
remember?
That's the difference between your and I's, the way we look at things and evaluate these things.
And I
But
do.
I think maybe what I'm pissed off about at that show specifically is that the first one, the trailer and the first episode were good enough to make me go, holy crap, like there's something with this, only for the wool to be, or the rug to be
Yeah.
pulled out from under me
But
within
that is
another
what makes
episode.
it, that is kind of like what movie makers do too, is that they
No.
make you.
They make you see things that you don't see coming, but that's not that I believe that the Exorcist is a real girl who's possessed, and then suddenly it becomes
Oh,
clear
are
that
you
it's
talking
fake.
about I know who he's talking about from West Virginia. I know who you're talking about. It's, you remember, the wit
Yes,
takers, the
the
wit
Wit
takers,
Takers.
wit
Yeah,
takers, yeah. And that guy goes and helps, and I
yeah.
went
You
through that
talk
one.
about them. I mean, you were on a tangent about them excessively
Because
for a
when
period of
when
time.
I hear about something, I get overly obsessive. If my brain wants to go with it, I'll go down the rabbit hole of looking into it and doing all that. And I do my research, but like I
But
also I also know the Blackwell ghost is not real, but
correct,
I am infatuated
and
with
that's
it.
okay. That's a movie series.
But you know what?
It's
He
a
made it, but
5-part
did he
movie.
not
It's an
make it seem
8-part
like it
movie
was
series.
so real?
In the beginning, he made it to be very real, and
And
that's what I don't
I
like.
highly recommend
And
that
I
show.
don't like the Blackwell Ghost series.
Oh my gosh.
But I watch every one of them because you like them. And I have watched every one of them because you like them. And I think it's the same thing. He had me going to an extent that this is creepy and believable, only to find out that no, it's obviously Hollywood made up or filmmaker made up.
But he's
bullshit.
good.
Blair Witch Project is a great example, Brandon. I went home from the Blair Witch Project,
Oh,
freaked out of my mind,
yep.
thinking that was real, and then went home,
Absolutely.
immediately turned on a late night talk show, and I think it was like Letterman or Leno or somebody, and they were on it. The actors were on it.
Do you
And I
know?
was like, you got to be kidding me. I was so pissed.
Do you know it took a minute? I mean, like here was the whole thing with paranormal activity that freaked me out so bad is that I could not. They did not do any like. No. Listen,
I'm
they didn't
listening.
do any type of like pre like interview things or any. They didn't do any of that.
No, but the girl came up the stairs at the end and threw the dead body of her boyfriend across the room, and then
You also
turned
don't
into a
believe
monster
in
face
ghosts and spirits
in the
and
camera.
paranormal activity. I
If
do.
that didn't tell you that movie was fake, then I don't know what to
I
say.
believe in that stuff. You don't. There's the difference.
I don't believe that even if Paranormal Activity, if they wouldn't have put that last 10 seconds in the film,
Do you want to
I
know what
would have been
movie?
creeped
Do you
out.
want to know what alien or where I guess found footage movies that scared the ever loving, I mean, gave me nightmares for a couple nights was The Fourth Kind. Like those weird vivid dreams that I get, The Fourth Kind.
Don't know that I've seen it.
It has Mila, who I know has a girl from Resident Evil in it, but it's like found footage or whatever like that. But that took me a minute to find out about that, and then a month later, they got sued for that town that they used, saying that there were alien abductions or whatever, like with the owl and all kinds of stuff like that in their dreams. I don't know. Anyway, they sued that film company for portraying that it was a real thing, but that Alaska in that area or whatever, Nome or Nome, Alaska, I
Nome,
think.
Alaska.
They are the ones that sued that film company because they are the ones that said that even though they have a high rate of missing people, like that
Okay,
have
let
had strange.
me clarify something here real quick, just for the sake of the video.
I like Brandon.
I love movies. I love scary movies. I love movies that make you believe it's real but aren't real and clearly not real at some point. I'm okay with all that stuff. I don't know. I think maybe sometimes I think that when they cross the line between it being a well done, well executed first couple of videos and then turns into this CGI nightmare, I think it's just off putting and puts a bad taste in my mouth. Now, that's to talk about.
Fourth Kind wasn't bad.
But hang on, that's to talk about the thing that you just played the clip of. The Blackwell ghost was believable up to the point that I think they started flipping tables and doing weird things, and then I was like, okay, I'm out. But it is captivating enough to hold my attention. I don't fight Mitchie to watch them. I do watch them. It's kind of like we watch the Bad Ben series, which is the worst B-rated, scary found footage stuff you'll ever watch in your life.
That was awful.
It's so bad. And we watched every one of them.
And he paid for them.
And I paid for them because I love that kind of stuff. Blackwell Ghost was on the borderline of being B-list and mainstream, but with fake, real tenants.
And what is it that you think I'm absolutely nuts for? Because I said, like, I'm in that group and I wait to find out any news or information about when one's released. What did I do when you found out I told you 9 was out?
Oh, Blackwell Ghost. I know you're obsessed with Blackwell Ghost. Always have been.
And
since
there's 9.
The first one.
And I know I loved them.
And we watched 7 of them back to back.
I know. I was like, oh, did you? I was like, oh, there's another one. Ooh, there's another one.
Second of all, there's no rock in our backyard.
No, there's not. And it is gone. I mailed it. It went bye-bye, put extra Post-its on it and everything.
Listen, I am skeptical. Despite everything that I've seen, despite everything that I've experienced, I have managed through time and through the process of the brain doing what it does, justified everything I've experienced from the haunted tours that I've gone on. And it's made me question whether or not I truly believe in ghosts or not. I want to so bad. I really, really do. But I have to find something that I can't simply explain away. And the closest thing I have at the moment is that ball rolling down the steps.
All
That's
right.
it.
I was about to say, don't you dare.
That's it. But the laws of physics do exist, and it was placed at the top of the stairs, and things go downhill. I don't know how it got. It wasn't in motion when I left it, and it became in motion at some point. That I can't explain. I can't explain that. And I looked pretty convinced running and screaming like at the top of my lungs when it happened. I definitely believed in the moment.
I've never seen Jeremy run, and that was probably it.
That I was about to get murdered by ghosts in that house.
I thought I was going to get trampled, but
I left that house thinking I was about to get murdered by ghosts.
Well, you ran up the stairs.
I damn near knocked Mitchie over, let alone the front door and every piece of furniture between me and the front door on my way out of that house that night.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, I have never been more scared. But like the feeling that there are people around me, like where I kept wanting to put my back up against the wall. I have never felt that until I told you I was a kid and I'd be home alone and I'd hear crap moving around in the house and people walking up the steps.
It reminds me that we need to research whether there was a bathroom upstairs.
No, there was. I don't understand. How do you... There was.
Okay, but check this out. Listen, Charles says you need to do a ghost hunt at the prison this year sometime. I would do that. The problem is I don't think they do private tours.
They don't.
So it would be hard to do because you're with a group of other people. And honestly, it detracted significantly when we did it. Simply because
you got so irritated.
While you were trying to be quiet and listen for things and experience things. People were walking around waving flashlights and talking, and it was just very uneventful from a standpoint of trying to do an actual paranormal investigation.
But I will tell you, I still have that creepy photo. I still have
Of
the
us
other
sitting
one.
in the gas chamber?
No. The one of Scott's head.
Oh yeah, no, there's some weird stuff that came out of that prison tour for sure.
Like,
Double exposed pictures on our phones that I don't know how happens.
and then when I
The
lightened up the
Rock.
screen and darkened the screen and that face keeps appearing.
I don't buy that.
I
for
get
1
it,
second.
but I'm telling you right now, I could show them.
Yeah, they wouldn't see it either. Anyway, we'll pull
They
it up in a
did.
future video. No. You can find a face in anything if you look hard enough.
Jeremy.
I'm not discounting the one where we took a picture of my brother-in-law, and when we later looked at the
You were
picture,
standing right next
he
to
didn't
him.
have a head.
Your head was fine. You guys were standing.
You could see the people at the building behind him that you wouldn't have been able to see had his head been there. That's weird.
And Jeremy's head was right by his head, and his head was fine. His was not.
It was very odd. But I do want to go personally back to the Sally house. I know Mitchie's still itching to get up to.
I would go to the Sally house again.
The Villisca Axe.
I feel like I'm
house.
a little more
prepared for it.
Well, here's the thing. I knew.
We need
I
a
knew
book now because
mentally,
it's going to be
and-
expensive around Halloween.
But you knew how much, like, I was like, it took a day or two to recover. And I get that you think it was from adrenaline, but I don't think that's what that was. And I'm telling you, it was like, that's weird.
I don't know how to. Mitchie's going to have to source that photo, and then the only way I'd be able to bring it up is if I screw up the live stream again. So I'm going to have Mitchie send that to me, and I will try to pull that video or that picture up. Maybe it'll be easier to understand on big screen like this. Anyway, but if I can get it on here, I will.
I'm looking.
It will go back to black screen again. Okay, so there's that. The Sally House, Villisca Axe Murder House, I would love to get up to. I know Mitchie would love to. It just doesn't make as much sense because it's further away. We'd have to travel. Whereas the Sally House, I see the Sally House once a week. I drive by it once a week. It's close. It's right over the bridge. So from where we live. Be very easy to go back there. It's just expensive, and it'll only get more expensive as we get closer to Halloween.
All right, I'm sending you the picture.
You got it that fast?
Yeah.
All right, so Mitchie found
well,
the
I just
picture.
went to my Google Photos, typed in Jefferson City, and it pulled it up.
I will download that picture right now.
It's in your text messages. Joe, do you want it on your email?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you want it?
Yeah, because it's got to be on my computer.
Well, I didn't know. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
All right.
We'll figure this stuff out.
Well, look, it's
all right, Brandon.
hey,
we're getting this picture.
You got to admit,
hell or high
though,
water
this is working, though. What we're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty weird and random. The first hour and 20 minutes of it. How long have we been going? Hour and 30 minutes? Yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes. It's been random and weird. I think we need a topic to some degree. What do you guys think in the chat? You just want free-flowing nonsense like we do, or would it make better sense to have specific topics as we've done in the past? I would love to hear your thoughts.
I really wasn't.
How long does it take you to email that?
I probably wasn't as like.
Well, you had a long day and a rough day at that, but Sundays are hard for you anyway.
Well, I really tried this week. I really tried to kind of like just get in and you know what I mean. Like
I just need you to focus on getting that picture.
I emailed it to you.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Well, geez, what do you think I've been doing over here? I've been over here.
You're still typing on your phone, so
I am. I'm looking up that other photo that you're sitting here like, yeah, but not it.
I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's close that. Open this. Do this. Open with photos. Yeah, my head's not anywhere even in this picture.
No, it is. Look.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I see it. Okay. All right. So let me find out how to do this. Bear with me because the screen may go black for just a second, but I don't know any other way to do it. Unless I can put it in here. No, I can't. All right, bear with me.
I don't know, but you.
Let's do this, and then, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. So then let's go with image. Hopefully you can still hear me talking, and then downloads. Okay. Oh, wow. That's what she said. Made that huge. How big a picture is this? Okay. So here is the picture. Let me get it centered up here. And I don't know if you can see the screen. So here's what we are talking about. Here's my head over here on the left. This is the main part of the picture. That is my brother-in-law's head. So Mark says I like it both ways. That's what she said. Once a month free flow. I like that. Okay, so we'll do the first or the last Friday of every month, or Sunday of every month. We'll do free flow. So this is the picture, guys. This is what we're talking about here. Literally no head. This is, if I take that back, you can see change the size. You can see the whole prism. But this is just a picture that was taken. I'm in this picture.
Yeah. Your head's fine. And
so you can see that I'm in this picture. My face, my head, my fat body is all in here. But his head is gone. You can see the silhouette of his head, but there's nothing. You can see the shadows on the wall. You can see into the interior of the building. Part of his shoulder's gone, and his neck. I don't know. I can't explain it.
I don't understand it because
it looks like it was double exposed, but it's a digital camera taken from her phone. It wasn't taken, on a digital camera. It wasn't taken on a
I've never seen
film camera, anything like that. It was just taken from her phone.
I was just taking photos of and I literally have different ones from me standing there because I was taking pictures of the building, and then you guys are right there, and yeah,
very odd.
And as soon as I sent that, I showed that to you.
Yeah, very, very odd. Well, no, that's a shadow of somebody's hand.
I get that.
Right there. Somebody taking a selfie. Somebody's taking a selfie. That's the shadow of a hand right there. Somebody taking a selfie. So there's some things that are very clear, but that's what I think is so weird about it is why can you see that stuff happening? If his head was there, it would be blocking it out.
And how come I can see your head that's right next to him?
And Brandon says, yeah, if something was messed up, you'd be messed up too. And I was very plain. Thank you. Like I am in real life. Very plain. Is there a way you can send me that photo? I know a guy that does the tours and would love to hear what he thinks about it. Absolutely. I will get you a copy of that picture. We can see plain as day. Yes.
I'm actually shocked that your head wasn't disappeared because you're the one that
I'm surprised my head's not disappeared every day. You're the one that had so many
issues at the Sally house
that I live with you.
Your mental head. You're the one that had so many issues. I was paranoid.
Okay, so here's my plan. Listen, check this out, and you guys tell me because I really want to do this, and I don't see any reason we couldn't. We now have, for the podcast and for all the stuff we've collected over the years for this channel, we have multiple cameras, we have multiple everything else. I would
Cameras
like
suck.
to go to the Sally house, okay? Take my computer and live stream
I can be
the
very
entire thing all at once, live stream it all night that we're there. I mean, are you
And
down?
you remember what our conversation was?
I don't.
Don't you remember when you mentioned that before?
I mean, I will if you tell me, but I don't remember what you're talking about right now.
Okay. Do you want me to do slow or do you want me to do it fast? Because you were like,
Just
you're,
tell me.
you're like trying to move this bus along.
I'm not. Just tell me.
See, we
You
mentioned this.
said, do you remember
I'm
what I told you?
talking.
What did you tell me?
I said, do you want to do this for the purpose of like doing a YouTube video? Or you
Yes.
want to prove to everybody, or you wanted to prove to yourself? Because I thought the purpose was to prove to yourself you'd be able to prove other
If
people.
we took the computer and put a camera in every room and live streamed the whole thing all night long.
Including the bathroom?
And live stream the whole thing all night long, we wouldn't be doing what we are doing, wouldn't be for a YouTube video. It would be a YouTube video, but we're not interacting with the camera. We're doing a paranormal investigation. Meanwhile, all the cameras are live streaming to YouTube. But it wouldn't change our experience while we were there. I mean, I'm not talking about, walking around with cameras like, well, this isn't Ghost Adventures or anything. I'm just a guy that has access to cameras and could put a stationary camera in 6 different rooms.
I think you're going to have to run it off your phone if the internet works. Remember last time?
The internet worked last time, but just not great.
Do you remember when we went live and like we weren't, but
that was a whole different thing. That was another weird thing. We went live twice. Everybody got notified. Everything was good. We interacted and talked to people, shared our experiences. And then when shit hit the fan and things got really scary, we went live again and it didn't notify anybody. It didn't show up on our channel until later. It didn't do anything. Nobody was there. We were talking to nobody. I think only 1 or 2 people actually found the live stream somehow. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. We wouldn't run out of battery power if all the cameras were wired directly to the computer and connected, and the PC connected to the wall. Because that's what, it's essentially, plus we have 3,000 batteries. I would be switching out batteries.
Even it's funny, even like, I'm curious about how many batteries they go through, because you remember we had to end up connecting my little battery, like my phone battery power thing, my little battery pack.
Yeah.
To the camera.
Remember, because that's how I corrupted the file and had to pay big money to get it.
My gosh, what's the odds of that though? Because that was literally the ball one, and that thing doesn't like to be seen on camera.
Batteries were dying excessively fast at the Sally house.
Oh, and gosh, it was bad.
And then so we had a portable backup battery charger connected to the camera to make sure it worked. And that's when the ball came down the stairs. And so when we went running and screaming, we got to a section of that video where I went to either hand off or change hands or something, the camera, and I dropped that battery pack. It came disconnected and the camera shut down. And then when we went to pull that video footage, that whole file was corrupt. And I had to send it off and pay money. I didn't send it off. Well, I guess I did through email or something.
For an app
no, I didn't pay for an app. I sent that email or that corrupted file.
Yeah.
Or maybe that SD card. I don't know. I sent it off to get and paid big money to have it uncorrupted, and it was worth every penny because we got the footage. There was no guarantee we would have gotten that.
That was so bad too, because that was like the end of it.
But to me, it doesn't mean anything to go experience that if I can't share it with the other people that, want to see all this and live vicariously. Like, if I went back to the Sally house tomorrow, I think I would want to share it in some capacity, whether we handheld live stream from our phone periodically through the night like we did last time or something. I would want to do something.
My only problem with with any of it. Like I'm just listen. We had so many issues trying to get anything on camera. You know what I mean? Like anytime that camera was like right on, like like you were coming down the steps, and I'm like trying to like because it's pitch black. You want to turn off all the lights. I can't see anything, so I'm staying in position and I can't see what I'm looking at. But was able to get that whole 8 ball experience.
Well, you almost missed it.
I almost missed it. But what happens, it does not, I mean, everybody always says it doesn't want to be, nothing happens when it's on camera. And the whole thing is, I need you to understand the crazy crap that comes out of my mouth when I talk to you about this stuff.
I don't speak crazy. It's an entire language that I have to research.
Psycho.
And I well understand psycho. You've taught me that for years, but
I'm not
crazy,
psycho.
I don't know that I understand. It's a uniquely different language than I speak.
I'm just telling you. My whole thing is, I don't think you, I don't even know, I don't think you get the full experience.
Mark says you should also take an electronic bug finder in case it's all staged. I agree with that. I agree with that. The only counter I would have to that, and it's not really a counter, is that there is a logbook, and every night that somebody stays there, they log their experience throughout the night in that book, and there are equally as many absolutely nothing happened as there are these weird things happen. Now, what I have heard, and Mitchie, you can confirm, what you can confirm. Now, don't get me started on all the details of
really.
The things that Mitchie you can confirm is that everything that we've heard from other people that have stayed there and stay there multiple times, that the experiences get worse each time they come back. So if you are a multi-visitor, you've come multiple times, things tend to get upscaled as time goes on, the more times you stay there. So that what I'd be curious about. But that could also indicate that this whole thing is staged and that somebody at the Chamber of Commerce who manages this thing is pushing buttons and pulling strings.
And I don't feel like that's real. But I've also talked to you about like fault lines and like all that too.
It's close to water. It's close to
water and like on a high magnetic.
Yeah, but
like,
you have to believe
line.
in that stuff in order for that to matter.
I get it, and that's why I can't speak to you like that, because when I say that, that's like talking about portals.
There was a lot of energy in the air because it was storming that whole night prior to
and it was
us
also storming when we went to Jeff City.
It was storming, big time storming when we went to Jeff City, and Beatty House it was not.
No, it was hot and humid.
But my point is that there could be some direct connection between the energy and the air and the electromagnetic field and all that stuff that brought out more experiences, because the 2 times we've had experiences when it did storm, they were much greater than the 1 time we had no experiences at the Beatty House when it was perfectly normal weather outside. If you believe that spirits work off of energy, which can be created by storms and electromagnetic fields.
It's funny.
Then
mentioned energy today.
I mentioned energy. Okay, that was in a reincarnation story, reincarnation conversation about whether or not. It wasn't necessarily that whether or not I believe in reincarnation, but I did say that when you die, your energy is absorbed into other living things, much like, if your body becomes fertilizer, which feeds energy and food to the plants, living plants that grow above the ground, it is a cycle. Like you're born, you die, you pass your energy on to other living things, and the cycle continues, right? That's not a reincarnation belief. That's just I'm only talking about the physical body. I'm not talking about the spiritual body, if you're prone to believe that sort of thing. The physical body rotates in a cycle. Unless you're cremated and
so, do you remember,
spilled out in water.
Do you remember when we watched? Okay, this is my last thing, and then I'm done. So this is my last thing. Do you remember when we watched that one guy's Texas, but he did the like you're not supposed to Ouija board, but he did it at all those different locations. And do you remember we watched the one from Sally House, and it scared you and me
Yeah, that was
watching
terrifying.
that,
It was terrifying.
and that was recently.
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me, and I don't know why. And it might have been, we watched the beginning, like where everything started cutting out, and I was like, that
Yeah.
gave me deja vu. And then
I don't entirely believe that guy's YouTube channel, but that was scary watching that. Now I will say,
and the fact he does blood to set it off too. You remember that?
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay,
What the heck
riddle me
are you
this, chat.
thinking?
Riddle me this, chat. Any of you out there in the chat, does anybody own a Ouija board?
We haven't even used her.
So here's the thing: we do own one.
I bought you one for what, Valentine's Day?
For Valentine's Day. Yes, Mitchie bought me a Ouija board for Valentine's Day. And that's because, that goes back to the crazy and psycho stuff, but we are. I would not want to go to the Sally House without it.
You're not supposed to take that there, and I'm not doing that.
What's
You're
up,
not-
Tats?
You can do it outside.
I know you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But I wasn't supposed to go in the basement.
And let me tell
and
you-
I did that.
But let me tell you this. That's for mold purposes.
Is it? Is it? You, the believer of all things,
Listen,
believe that we're not
listen,
allowed in the basement because it's
I can
mold?
also smell the
where the
difference
pentagram
between sitting
is?
water.
Where
I
the
could smell it.
pentagram is, where the open space into the crawl space is, where you think dead bodies were buried, you think it's closed off because of mold.
And you thought I was crazy for saying that, because the first thing I told you was that I was pretty sure that's what I was sensing was that.
You need to read the comments.
What? Oh,
Brandon just touched on multiple.
yeah. And I'm
Points
serious.
that
I bought that for like.
I'm not opening the portal in my own house. I'm opening it in the Sally house.
No, you're not. No,
It's
you're
already
not, because
there.
you don't know what you're messing with.
You already said it's there.
No,
Listen.
you don't know what you're messing with.
Listen.
You don't.
Listen.
I'm not jacking around with that.
For 1 second. You want me to believe that the Sally house is haunted, and nothing yet
I told
has
you.
made me believe that what I experienced was a factual. There's part of me that believes it was, but not factual. There's no hard scientific provable evidence that that would all happened. And the best way to obtain that evidence would be through a Ouija board.
No, it would not.
And you're saying no.
Do you want to know why? Jeremy, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I don't know what that is, but that is not a human spirit.
Sweetie,
in
it's
that
a
house.
Hasbro product.
That is not a human.
It's a kid's toy. It's for 6 and up.
Not anymore.
8 and up.
It's like 13 and up. Dude.
Well, whatever.
Anyway.
It's a child's game, for crying out loud. Made by
don't-
Fisher Price.
Listen, I'm serious though. That is not like a human spirit inside that house.
Yeah, Mark's right. They wouldn't let you stay in the house if there was mold.
Not if they're making money off of it. Bullshit.
They would eradicate the mold.
Sweetie, you and I both know that you smelled it too, so I don't really want to.
No, it smells like a musty basement. Every basement smells like a musty basement that's not finished.
Right.
My basement on 22nd Street smelled like a moldy, musty basement.
No, that's because
basements smell like
that's
that.
because you left laundry in the washer.
No, their washer wasn't even downstairs at that house. That house was haunted at AF.
Okay, but I am serious though. That wasn't.
Okay, well, I don't. We'll talk about that later because I literally don't see the point
talk to you about it,
in
so.
not having the Ouija board at the Sally house.
Listen, I told you that one time that I would do it outside with you, like when we were
That's just old house smell. That's correct.
But
why would you buy me a Ouija board if you thought any of this?
No,
why would you buy it for
I'm
me?
fighting it of the inside of that place. That's it.
Well, why would it be any different if we did it here inside our house?
I'm saying
we can't open portals into spirits in
no,
our own home?
I mean, you can literally tell it goodbye and blah, blah. No, I'm just telling you what I felt in the Sally house was just.
Okay, so the scariest thing we've ever seen out of the Sally house was those guys using the Ouija board where he pricked his own finger and poured blood onto the Ouija board to activate this whole thing or whatever
He
he
took a
did.
big knife and cut his
Okay,
finger.
cut his damn hand off. I don't know. Whatever he did. Scariest thing we ever
No.
saw from the Sally house
I'm
was
saying that he'll never be able to go back to the Sally
Sweetie,
house now.
just hear me out, please. If that's the scariest thing we've seen at the Sally house, they walked out of there. They survived. They went on to the next house for the next ghost expedition. They didn't die. They didn't get eaten by ghosts. They didn't get murdered. They didn't have tragic events happen in their life. They went on to investigate the next house.
I'm just saying.
What's the problem?
I'm just saying, I guarantee they had some issues.
It's probably full of electronics.
Listen, Baylor said, let's not have demons be attracted into our house. No, thank you.
Be attractive. Be attractive.
Bailey said, let's not. No, thank you.
Bailey's the one that was going to play with the Ouija board when her friend was over.
Yeah, and guess what? Her friend would have.
And her friend was the one that said,
Yeah, I told you because she's scared to death of that
I know,
stuff.
but Bailey would have done it. Bailey, I'll play the Ouija board with you later. See, she said, yay. They won't stay in our house. They won't stay.
Do you even know how to say? Do you even know how to?
They
tell
won't
goodbye?
stay in the house because it's a child's toy made by Hasbro, sold in the kids section of Walmart.
I hope you get stabbed in the eye with a planchette.
It's sold in the board game aisle of Walmart.
I hope that a planchette goes flying in the air and breaks through your glasses and stabs you in your eyeball.
Mark said I had a Ouija board with my girlfriend back in the 80s, and it told her to make out with me. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, 8 and older, Mitchie, 8 and older.
Listen, I'm telling you, there's something seriously wrong with that Sally house. I'm not kidding.
Well, we'll talk about it later. We don't even have a reservation at the Sally house. I'm just saying, if I go again, I want to take it.
You can do it outside.
Makes sense.
Go do it outside.
On the deck where you got scratched? What difference does that make?
No, because that was above where the crawl space is at. Remember?
I know. Outside.
No, I meant outside in the car.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to play the Ouija board in the damn car. That don't make no sense. Because why would you want it in your car? We had to get to our car to escape it.
Oh, now it's going to be in your car, huh?
We had to escape it through using our car.
No,
Remember
I saged you when you got in the car.
Remember, I almost made a Scooby-Doo size hole in the side of the house running out of that place?
You said you need to shut off the light. I said, I'm not shutting
We
the
left that
lights
place
off.
with every damn light in that house on. Every
No,
light.
you reached your hand back in and you shut the lights off.
I did, didn't I?
Because you said you didn't even shut the light. I said,
I did.
You were
You're right.
yelling at me to shut off the lights, and I didn't even know where the light switches were at.
That was my impression of the Brandon short that he posted yesterday or today or whatever, where I had to go back in and turn the light out. We were both terrified, but no, it was me that had to go back in and turn the lights off. Yeah, I had to go do that. Okay. Well, anyway, it is now almost 9 o'clock. We went 2 hours.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah. It's been a fun night though, chatting. I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here.
Stop.
No, it's full. It has liquid in it. See?
But you're so annoying when you do it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Taking a drink is annoying. See, this is where we're at in our relationship. Everything I do is annoying. Everything she does is uber annoying. So, let's get down to the brass tacks here. All right, Mitch, you got any parting words you would like to share with the group? And is there any subject matter specifically you would like to address next week?
No, because probably after this time, you're never going to let me.
No, this was a fantastic evening. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
You're lying.
We're going to do it once a month under this format. And then there'll be other times where and then the other weeks we will have a scheduled topic, but we will still allow for free-flowing conversation. But once a month, we will just come in with no plan and talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about, like UFO sightings, like missing people maps, cryptids, Bigfoot, you name it. We've got it all. And we can talk about one of those subjects coming up. But so is there anything specific? Because there are subjects we haven't talked about yet that fall less under the strange and dark and more under the mysterious, like the case of D.B. Cooper. The
Everyone knows that case.
well, but we don't know what happened to him. But anyway, there's
Nobody knows.
plenty of topics that I'm saying, like conspiracy theories, MK Ultra, missing persons cases that are bizarre, or people who are found years later that don't know where they were, what happened. UFO sightings, UFO abductions, you know, Elvis Presley faked his own death. All those kind of things. So there's plenty of cryptids that we haven't talked about, like the Mothman and Jersey Devil and Ogopogo, El Chupacabra, the Kraken, one of my favorites,
Listen,
the Kraken.
I don't think I can ever talk about Mothman again after we watched that really rough documentary.
About which one?
The couple, that one, she's a witch or a witch, and
Yeah, but that wasn't about the Mothman.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. The
That was about the trolls.
No, that second one.
Oh, the second
Trolls
one was
the
nonsense.
first one.
Why do we even watch the second one when we knew the first one was so bad? Why would we watch the damn second
Because
one?
the documentary,
that's what we
because
do.
the movie thing looked like.
Because that's what we do. We find stupid shit that's really stupid, and we double down on it and watch everything they put out.
They were actually legit. They were.
No, they weren't.
No.
Well, yes. No, you're right. You're right. I get what
They
you're saying.
were legit people that were actually, that was their professions, and that is what they did, and that was. But they talked about the alien stuff too.
Their profession was that they were filmmakers.
No, they weren't.
Their profession wasn't that I'm a witch.
No, it really is. She teaches people. Yes, she does. She gets paid. You can buy a subscription.
All because they had success in the film industry.
She's
and
always
people
been
bought
that.
it, and now they travel around and they show the sideshow crap
I
that they
looked that
find.
up when we watched that
and
show, not the movie.
They operate like a damn circus of the occult.
No, you don't even know anymore. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Ugh. I'm so glad the old married couple is back. I missed them. Thanks, Mark.
No ring.
Nope. So, all right. Any final parting words or any subjects you want to talk about in the near future?
I don't know.
Okay. No final words. My final words are this. I'm going to double down on what Mitchie's point was, showing you that video, which is there are a lot of things out there that look real, that are believable, but do your research. Figure it out for yourself. Take a minute. Don't buy the premise of everything just because it looks real or it's on the internet. Not everything on the internet is true. Hashtag spoiler alert. So anyway, that's all we got for tonight. Truly appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. I always say that time is the most valuable thing you can give to somebody, and you've given us yours tonight. So thank you. It really does truly mean a lot to us. I say that a lot, but I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart, which is on this side, not this side. So I'll do this. Anyway, love you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we will.
Good job, Bailey.
We will see you in the next one. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Bailey said it from